It's YouTube Wednesday. It's a Creature from the Black Lagoon bust.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right, I have a mask making head form. To protect it, I'm going to cover it in saran wrap. A lot of people do this to their head forms before they even start sculpting a mask, like with clay, because they don't want to get it dirty. Obviously, I don't have that problem. I'm gonna do this one a little more like a bust, I think, than a mask. My razor blade broke, so I just used the heat gun to cut it. I think this will be cool because this will make a bust of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, which was the #1 requested next thing to do. And also, this will show people how to make a bust, kind of. Like regular saran wrap would be way easier to use than this stuff. This is like pallet wrap. Super hot debate over who actually played the Creature from the Black Lagoon. It was two guys. It was Riku Browning, who was an Olympic swimmer, and he did all the swimming scenes. And Ben Chapman was a stuntman, and he did a lot of the on-land scenes. I don't know about all, but he did many. And I think he did the stuff where carrying the damsel in distress, I think. I don't know if those two guys ever got together and made up, but they were not nice to each other for a long time. Loctite foam. I forayed into great stuff last week. It worked out okay, but I wasn't a huge fan. Miss my Loctite foam. It is just good stuff. Again, this time I'm doing a whole bust. Why not? If I'm gonna explore a new art form, I might as well push those limits and see what's possible. That is dead enough. I know I'm gonna need a couple layers for detail, so I'm not really surprised that I didn't get all that done in one. This one will be 2 cans. The werewolf was 1 can. I did a skull and a zombie. They were each 1 can. I decided to change my mind in the last minute. I'm doing the mummy. I'm finished. All right, it does look a little mummy-esque. I don't know what I'm doing for the eyes yet. It's a bust. I don't have to leave eye holes, but I left them open just in case. Countdown 3 minutes. I did make myself a cheat sheet of Creature from the Black Lagoon images so that I can use a reference while I'm sculpting. I almost like how the ropes of the foam sort of match all the wrinkling that happens up under his jaw. I might not have to do too much to that area. Mostly, I just have to move this around and marry all these bits together because I wasn't worried about filling in everything. So I knew I could do that. You don't see a lot of his neck. This whole texture here is actually kind of great. I don't mind that at all. And his head is very smooth. I'm not even thinking about those side fins yet. I just want to get that face structure on this first bit. The image is telling me where I'm going to add mass. And mass is all I'm going for right now. I buy kind of every new spray foam when it comes out. And when I first saw that this one was really white, one of the first things I used it for was trying to make like icicles and snowdrift stuff. So I did that, and I wanted to smooth it out. So I sprayed it with water, put a plastic sheet over it. And that's kind of how I figured out that you can sculpt it a bit. But I still didn't know the degree to which you can work with this stuff. It's pretty remarkable. Gotcha. Patience is not my strong suit. Countdown 2 minutes. There are points where the puffiness of this material works for him, like his lips. Like, yeah, that works really well. And there's other points where it's a detriment because he is supposed to have this hard, scaly look. What's cool is thinking about this foam as a sculpting medium. Like there's people who are just better sculptors than me, and I'd love to see them play with it and see what they do. I'm on what I would consider the low end of good. If I sculpt a duck, you can tell it's a duck, but you don't expect it to blink, flap, and fly away. There are some sculptors who, if they sculpted a duck, it looks like it's gonna blink, flap, and fly away. I don't think I'm too far away. I can add my side fins now. And I think I have to do them like shingles, start at the bottom and work my way up. I'm gonna give myself plenty of time to work them. I'm just gonna do one at a time. The Creature from the Black Lagoon is my second favorite Universal monster. The Wolfman is my favorite. And I think that the Creature is my second favorite because he was the first like monster that I know of that was naked. And that sounds really weird, but like every other monster, they're wearing something. And the Creature stood out as being so alien and such a special effects marvel. You're seeing this monster head to toe. I think I needed more length. To do that, I added more foam. That's the massive fin I wanted. Sounds like a pickup line for a fish. Sharpening the end of that is key. See what a difference that made. No one's excited. Okay. When I was younger, that was almost unheard of as far as the old monsters. He has a big place in my heart simply because I was just fascinated with how did they do that. And then I got that again with Pumpkinhead in the 80s because again, this giant monster, but it's naked. There's no fur to hide seams. It does have a little bit of a chin. I don't want to lose that. Countdown 2 minutes. I know how forgiving fur is to hide seams. And just Pumpkinhead is just this naked monster. It's just beautiful that they made a creature that looks like it's from nature. And I think that the Creature from the Black Lagoon checks all those boxes for me on a classic level. The way I work with this stuff, this is about the mass that I want. And I put on as close to that mass as I can. And I know down the road I can shape that better. So this side doesn't look as good as the other. So it needs more foam. Countdown 2 minutes. Now before, this cheekbone was just its own little island. And now this locks it into the head and gives a sense of motion. And also it's gonna help set a foundation for that last fin that goes up. Just an extension of that cheekbone. See how well that marries together? It's a remarkable material. I'm so impressed with it. That helped. So this is, what, September 15th, 16th, I think? And Dark Hour is gonna open in like 9 days. I have to go and do an actor training in Iowa. So I'm gone this weekend, and next weekend we open. So this is our last week. If you are local, you're within a 3 or 4 hour drive as a haunted house, I swear we're worth it. If you find me out there, I should just be running around as me this year. Normally I'm in costume, but I think I'll be just me most of the time this year as an owner talking to people. My first year to own it, me and the wife. And if you are a YouTube fan, let me know. And maybe I can pop you backstage or something, but come out and see us. I would like to see as many folks here as possible. If you are not local and don't want to join Patreon, I want to support the channel, just hop online and buy a ticket to Dark Hour Haunted House. You don't have to come. Still helps. So I'm pretty happy with these fins. What about you, Robert?
Looks good in person and on camera.
Has anyone noticed I've been avoiding the eyes? I have. I want to do a little bit of reshaping of this area to get me a little more sunken. I'm sunken on this side, I'm puffed out on this side. I think the heat gun will allow me to just push that right back in. It just goes pliable again with the heat. Nice. Got this weird hang down on the chin that I did not navigate correctly. Now that's fixed. This has turned out pretty cool. I am not unhappy with him. Eyes are always a little bit difficult. Trying to figure out which way the eyes point, lining up pupils, it's hard. And if I thought eyes were hard before I was sculpting them in Marshmallow Fluff, I certainly have a healthy respect for them now. Trying to leave a nice rim around that eye, just like in the image. Let's start getting him off of here so I can do that back fin. On my way! Oh, I'm almost there. My popsicle stick trick, put the tape on it, so I have to go down on the inside and tape that together, and now it won't stick on the way down. And that is taped up nicely. I think he's looking all right. Look at that, it's a bust, like we made it. That's cool. I have an eyeball drawer. I went to my eyeball drawer. These eyes are not true to the original Creature from the Black Lagoon, but I have this pair of eyeballs, and I think I can make them work in there, and I think it'll look really good. So I'm probably gonna cut these out, and I'm gonna go with glass eyes. I have a video on how to make those glass eyes on my channel also. So it's not like I'm doing something that I didn't show you how to do. I'm gonna paint here in a minute. While I'm waiting, I'll clean up my station. I think every now and then a couple of those little cuts will look nice. There's something like primordial about a sawback creature in the water. You keep reinforcing what you want it to do. It has its own plans and dreams, and you have to squash those. That's all right. Just reinforce that seam. I almost never use these little hobby knives. It's very rare. I often break them when I do. Now it's a Creature Nightlight. Just gotta put a light in there. So yeah, I gotta get that a good bit thinner. I'm real thick on this corner. I can see it. But I'll worry about that after I paint too. I need for all the water to get off of this so that I can paint it. So I'm gonna put it in front of a fan. That's a creature. It's a creature. I'm eye whittling. There's no way my head's gonna get through that hole. Now it's time for paint. Black. And I'm just doing this from the bottom angle to get those shadows hit a little harder. What's really cool is that he's so lightweight. This is Hunt Club Green. I did not go out and buy paints for this. I'm using paints that I had. And yes, I'm painting this green right over top of that black. But because the green's gonna be on top of white and on top of black, it's gonna bounce as two shades. Now he looks like the creature. Meadow green. Once again, that I'm only doing from the top. Warm yellow. Might be a bad idea. Let's find out. I don't want to start on his forehead. I want to start somewhere inconspicuous. I like it, but I only need a little bit of it. Fluorescent neon green. So to me, sculpting is baking and painting is cooking. Baking, you have to kind of be precise. It's about measurements. You know, you need a quarter of a cup. Sculpting is about measurements, it's about proportions. It has to be a certain proportion. When you're painting, it's like, well, let's try a dash of this. Let's try a little dash of that. Let's see what happens. And you can get really cool stuff to happen that way. It's going a little crazy here. Someone's gonna ask where I got the super long glue sticks. Uline. Uline has the really long glue sticks. Now the red in every one of the color pictures that I've seen, it's just too much. I have like a burgundy color here that I'm gonna go with. I prefer the color of the Gilman from Monster Squad, actually. That was a Steve Wang paint job. Amazing, remarkable. We're gonna make fish lips as scary as we can, just to show them as deep set. I don't have any defined, here's where the lip ends. I'm normally real big on definition of areas of the face. You know, if there's a line around the lips, if there's a line, then it's almost paint by numbers. And I'm a better sculptor than I am a painter. Little highlight, little dry brush, just to bring out these face ridges, these big gill plates, which are such an identifying feature of the creature from the Black Lagoon. This would be like a nice live sculpture demo type material because it's so fast in a way. Robert's like, not really, I've been here 2 hours. But like, this is pretty involved. This stuff is better outside than great stuff is. This is much more UV resistant. I am gonna highlight the eyes real quick. And it looks weird, but like his eyes look weird. That is much better. In this reference, creature almost has wingtip eyeliner on. I'm going to encroach on that eye highlight. I'm making sure my big blocks of color are right. I'm making sure the things that are supposed to have a highlight on them. And I have highlighted like crazy these little wrinkles above the nose, but all this is not highlighted. So that reads wrong now. I have to add a highlight to that. Anyone who joins Patreon by October 1st. Yes, we're giving away the Werewolf September 15th. October 1st on Patreon, Every Patreon subscriber is eligible, except for the one who just won the werewolf. Will be eligible to win, doesn't matter what tier, doesn't matter what level, the Creature from the Black Lagoon display bust that we just made here together. So this will be up for grabs as far as something to win on Patreon, and we'll have a lot more giveaways on Patreon through September and October. He was fun to make. I think I'm kind of pushing the material to its limits. Go make stuff. Thank you to all the new subscribers on Patreon. We appreciate each and every one of you. Now, let's do a couple of shout outs. Kelly and Sue from Coffin Park Cemetery, Katie from Louisville Halloween, Melissa Lahr from Stony Brook Haunted House, Scares and Beyond Masks, Monster Day Festival, Gregory Haynes, Normal Vincent. If you would like a chance to win our creature creation we made in this video, make sure to join us on Patreon. As always, go make stuff.